how did you become interested in becoming an artist?
Okay, that started when I was a child. Always I liked to painting, and curiously, always my subject was flowers since I was a child, and continued being the flowers like you see all around here.
Yeah, beautiful.
When I was like 18 years old, I had the opportunity, because at first I only worked with color pencil and my sketchbook. But until I was 18, I started to work with watercolors and oils, and I fell in love with these materials. And until now, I'm still working with watercolors mainly, oils, I love it. And I try to explore other materials like acrylics and also recycled materials.
So you developed this connection, emotional connection, artistic connection to watercolor and to oils. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what inspired you to want to work with these materials? What was it that the material had a certain magic to it for you?
The magic of watercolor for me is that sometimes people think that it's a very difficult medium to work, but I found that watercolor is a very easy medium. You can make corrections, and the thing that I love it is that you can do very quick a project, like in an hour. Like for example, this one, the hummingbird and the flower.
I think that's great. It's beautiful.
In an hour, and in an hour you had a project done and completely dry. And for oils, it's a little different because takes more time a project, and obviously when I painting with oil, I try to do big projects. And I had to wait until between layers until they dry, and like it because I had the possibility to mixing and make correction very easy also. It's a very forgiving medium. That is, I love it. And for the colors, obviously, because it had an intense color that I like it.
So many people around us are afraid to make mistakes. From what I hear, you are challenged by the mystery of making corrections, knowing how to do it and not being afraid. Is that true?
No, exactly. You don't have to be afraid. Mistake is an opportunity. Sometimes you say, oh, I made a mistake that I don't like that. That is perfect. Oh, don't worry. I said to my students, my watercolor students, don't worry, I can fix it. They say, oh my God, you are able to fix everything. They said, no, me, everyone can do it, and it's very easy. And I try to encourage them to love watercolors and don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that is the main mistake that the students and the people do. Be afraid. They say, oh no, I can't do it. They say, no, I encourage them. If you can do it, and it's a beautiful medium to start. Very easy.
From your experience, because I understand very much what you're saying, why do you think that people, when they make a mistake, they say it's impossible, I have to get rid of it, I have to start all over again, it's no good? Why for you do you see the mistake as something that you know you can correct? What does that mean?
For example, in watercolor, the common mistake is be afraid to use the intense color. I said to my student that don't be afraid of that, because watercolors, when it's dry, is 40% lighter than you see when it's wet. That way, if they use a very pale color, when the painting is dry, it's almost nothing there. They say, don't be afraid of the color. Color is light. That is one of the main mistakes in watercolor that I know that the people do. maybe in oil, no, that is most in watercolor. The people said that is very very bad painting. I'm going to read the dentist. No, water is our friends in watercolor, and also is our eraser. Okay, take a clean brush and water, and we are going to fix it. Oh my God, it's like magic. And also the child will say, oh, I think that is magic with watercolor. No mistakes. Really, no mistakes. Oh, and if you feel that they had a mistake, you can fix it.
I think it's great what you're saying, because what I have talked to Eric about, and it's a part of my process too, is that you and yours, I can see that, is that when you are very young, you intuitively, spontaneously play. There is nothing of a taboo. It is not even called a mistake. You just play.
Exactly.
And so what you're saying, which I find it very rich, what you're saying is part of the challenge and the process of learning to use the watercolor is that you know how to change it, you know how to modify it, you know how to improve it, because you're playing.
Is play, and I think the main thing is to know about the basic techniques. Like, for example, in watercolor you have to work from light to dark, not the contrary, like in acrylics or oils. That is very important, I think. And the water, the amount of water that you are going to use, also very important. The material that you are going to use. So, as I said, if you want to have a very nice painting, you have to use a very quality materials, very quality watercolors painting, no school quality painting. And also the brushes and the paper. That is like the basic thing, I think. The materials, good materials, and also the wish to do it something. Yes, that you like it.
Even though maybe I have an answer, I think anyone who's watching this would love to know, technically, why do you go from light to dark? What is the reason?
The reason is because you, in watercolors, maybe you use the white and the light colors of the paper. Almost never I use white painting or Chinese white painting in watercolor, because the white is the white of the paper, and you need very light colors to cover and build layers, because in watercolors you add many layers and you want it very transparent, and also after every layer is completely dry. And for that reason you need to start to light to dark, to have the mediums, dark, and all the values that you need in your painting.
Thank you. So basically, while you're working, you're very conscious of building up layer from layer, creating that kind of a contrast
And values.
and values.
That is very important. Whatever, doesn't matter that I painting in a very realistic way, but doesn't matter that you're painting in a very abstract way. It's the same thing. Started with the light to dark, because the dark, if you want, you started with the dark colors, and after that you want to put some light color. It's almost impossible, because the dark colors had a very strong pigment that it's almost impossible to erase it with water. That is our eraser, water.
Learning how to create, learning how to use the watercolor. When did you start to become aware of technique?
And the techniques, I started to learn the really good techniques when I was at the university in Colombia. I had architectural expression, and in the class only we use watercolors.
Only.
Only watercolors.
That's great.
And the teacher explain and teach all the techniques many years ago, and was fabulous. It's very simple, no complicated. It's not a mystery, as you know. Very simple things. And yes, was in Colombia where I learned the techniques and almost. But now for example, I learn more techniques, other materials, other mediums to use with watercolor. But the basic things I learned in the university when I was studying interior design. Yes.
Have you taken some classes here in America at all?
I take some classes only at the Greenwich Art Society with a very good teacher, Enzo Russo. He was influenced by the Italian artists, the Giorgio Chirico, what is the name of the artist? I don't remember exactly, but was very good, and with him I learned a new techniques, a new approach in oils. Yes.
Is that oil over there?
That is a peanut oil, this one. And
I think it's very beautiful with the flowers.
I painted a lot of flowers, like you see, I think here. But my favorite subject or my favorite flower are roses. I don't know it because my name is Rosa. But it's the shades, the colors, is the perfume, the tones that they had is very fragile, but at the same time the roses have the thought to like because it's you see, and different colors I painting in big size like 30 by 40, like the flower that is also at the entrance. It's like Giorgio Kidd, because Giorgio Kidd is one of the artists that influenced me.
Spell Giorgio
O'Keeffe.
Giorgio O'Keeffe, yes.
Yes, I love the way that they painting, the magnifier the paintings and do the details. Yes, I love that style.
So do you think that we choose certain themes the way the theme of flowers and nature is something so unique to you? Do you choose it because of an emotional connection, or is it a physical connection? How do we come to a certain theme that we say, this is what I want to be the subject of my own creativity?
I feel connected with the flowers and the nature because the shapes and the form, the colors, the vivid colors. I feel connected, and for that reason I like to paint it. And when I painted, for example, this rose, when I painted this rose, I was sure that a lot of people is going to like it and almost to feel the perfume, the aroma, yes. And the oils allowed me the texture, very very soft texture, like as the rose.
When I look at your work, it's very elegant. It's very, very gentle. And there is an enormous amount of observation that you have put into looking at the structure and the essence of the flower. So you have those skills of looking and of seeing. Most of us, we scan. We look at something and our eyes pick it up, but we don't record it. And when I look at your work, you are both looking and you are really seeing and you are absorbing so much of the structure, the color, the form, the shape.
Yeah, that is true. For example, if you look this flower there, this picture, this is called flower geometry.
Yes.
Because in nature, especially all the flowers have a geometry and symmetry. I realize all about that, and that's the reason for me it's very easy to do it, because I understand that the symmetry, the geometry that has every flower.
has
And
that
everything
unique
is
structure.
Yes, and the structure. Like the sunflowers, could be like the rose, like any flower, the tulips, the petals are very symmetric.
What I see very strongly, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you have a beautiful sense of patience to be able to focus in on what you are looking and seeing and recording, and you're able to really pull out the information.
That's true. I'm very patient, and for me, it doesn't matter how much time take to do a painting, especially in oils that take more time than in watercolor. The important thing for me is the result. A very clean and very perfect painting.
Very nice, really nice. So when you talk about your manner of working and the cleanliness and the sharpness and the vividness, the clarity of your forms, basically it is another understanding of what, as an artist, you expect of yourself. You have a certain work process and a certain way of working that you've developed.
Okay, the way that I work, believe it or not, for me is very important that had a sunny day. I like to work, yes, I work during the day. I know that many artists doesn't matter that it's working or painting at night. No, for me, I don't feel like the connection to do it at night. I enjoyed the light, and especially in the morning. And for that reason, here I had 5 windows that provide me a natural light.
Yes.
A natural light is very important. Very relaxing environment like this place here. And when I decided what I'm going to do, I had ready all my materials. Could be the canvas or the watercolor paper. Sometimes I had a reference photo that I had took from my garden or my neighbor's garden, or when I travel. I use this photo reference to make the paintings, and also obviously do some changes on it. And sometimes it's from my imagination, like the flower geometry, and many other subjects like the geocollics, because I also love to work with dry materials like the leaves and real petals of the flowers, like this here. As it's real petals and real leaves, and the background is watercolor.
I remember mentioning to you, I think Eric also, last time, about your trying to contact the Salamagundi Gallery in New York. Have you tried to do that?
Oh, no, not yet. But yes, I had to go.
Why not?
Really?
Yes, really.
I forgot Salamagundi. Yes.
I think the work is elegant, and it speaks about the beauty of nature and the beauty of form and shape and process. And I think it would be an excellent possibility for you to try to get into that show there.
I promise that I'm going to go and visit the gallery. Where is it located? I know.
I think it's downtown in Manhattan.
But I can look and go.
Yes, Salamagundi. I will spell it for you if you need. Do you remember, as a young girl, when you started to become fascinated by making certain pictures? Do you remember the first person who gave you a compliment?
My mom.
Yes?
My mom.
What did she say?
She said, "Oh, that is beautiful. I can't believe it that you do that. I said, oh yes, mom, I did it by myself. Nobody helped me. I said, oh wow, congratulations. That's beautiful. You have to continue to do the same thing, and I did.
So her words of appreciation and of saying how beautiful your work was, that inspired you to go further?
Yeah, because I think in my mom said, oh, what's a waste of time, or that is not good, maybe discourage me, but no. She said, oh, that is beautiful, and I feel very good, and said, this is beautiful. And also, painting for me is a therapy.
Interesting.
Yes, it's a therapy. When I feel like depressed or sad, I came here and started to painting, and I forgot every bad thing. It's only focused in the painting and what I'm going to do. And I encourage other people to do the same thing. It's a good therapy. You don't have to pay a psychologist, a therapist. No, it's good.
I'm going to take the extension of what you're saying, because I think that when one is a beautifully creative person and you need to have that moment to express something, whether it be the sun, the calmness, also maybe a difficult experience, maybe something that was annoying or something that was difficult or painful, it can also, don't you think, be used as a therapy to put it into a work of art?
No, I try to avoid to do that. I try to always in my work, doesn't matter if I had a painful situation, I wanted to reverse that situation, do it something beautiful and pleasure. To my view.
No, I think it's a wonderful point of view. In my own experience, being involved creatively, I have taken also moments that were challenging to me emotionally or spiritually, and I have tried to integrate them in a work of art where I'm able to use the energy and to transform it into something positive as a work of art.
Yes, many artists do that, and also the anger, express the anger with a very fast, strong, different ways.
Yes, there are different ways.
No, I try to calm down.
That's good. So, if I remember correctly, you mentioned who was also one of my favorite artists, Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yes.
At what age did you come in contact with her work?
And again, in the university when I was studying in Colombia, we had a class that I loved. It was my favorite. Was history of art. And there I know about the Georgia O'Keeffe, and I fell in love with her work. I liked it and feel like identified with the things, especially the flowers things that we had.
Are there any works of hers that you are aware of that are not just flowers, but they are more images of people who are struggling a little bit?
Yes.
Yes?
No. Did you refer, sorry, I don't understand very well the question. About the Georgia O'Keeffe, the other images?
Yes, because some of her images show not just flowers, but it shows her with her physical problems.
Oh, yes.
With the brace that she had to wear. And her expression is not always one of calmness, but it's very, very direct and it's very emotional.
But maybe the brace is not Frida Kahlo?
Frida Kahlo, yes, but also Georgia O'Keeffe had a difficult life in certain parts living in the West, where she had to transform her way of life and deal with nature, and then she found the structures of the animals, the skulls, and all kinds of things.
Yes, that kind of art for me is not my inspiration. It's very interesting, but that
That's
doesn't
not-
inspire me.
No, I understand. The only thing I'm trying to say is that I think that we all, in the creative process, choose something that gives us a sense of harmony, gives us a sense of connection. With Frida Kahlo, when she was painting herself being handicapped, she expressed the
Or the emotion.
emotion, the dilemma. That was her therapy.
Uh-huh.
When George O'Keeffe lived in the desert in, was it Arizona?
Yeah.
Or
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yes, I think.
I mean, someone would say, how can you take a skull of an animal and use that as your theme?
Painted, yes.
But she took those remnants of the animal, the skeletal aspect, and she turned it into a beautiful work of art.
Yes, everyone is different and have different approach.
Yes.
But yes.
No,
That's
it's an
very-
excellent thing what you're saying.
Yes.
That in a creative world, as a maker of art like yourself, we all, at some point in our process, like you, I think you choose a particular theme that you want to develop.
Yes, and I feel attracted by the beauty of the colors, and the harmony of for example, of the landscapes and the flowers that I painted. That attract me, and I like it.
What's amazing in your work, Rosa, is that flowers and nature is your theme, but there is so much diversity, so much variation in your work that you have not exhausted the beauty of nature. You keep on finding something
Exactly.
new and new combinations.
Yes, always I try to find different ways, different materials, but with the same thing. Natural pressed flowers, the clay that I prepare myself that is called porcelain, oils, acrylic, watercolor, recycled material. Like here, I did a picture, and believe it or not, this paper is that I use to clean my brushes, and I reserve and I make flowers.
And you recycled it and you made it
And
flowers.
it is recycled and made flowers, and the picture is not here. Maybe it's not here, but everyone love it, and I received a lot of compliments about it. What a wonderful idea! Yes, everything in life is recycled, and you can create new things. It's only about the imagination.
Listen, I think what is just wonderful about your process is you recycle a theme which never comes to an end. You find different ways to transform and to create the metamorphosis of something coming back into life.
Yes.
You give it different variations of life.
That's true.
No,
That's
your
true.
work is exceptional,
Thank you.
really.
Thank you very much.
One question more. When you come into your studio, name the first 5 things that you do when you come in.
First, when I arrive here, the first thing that I do is open the windows. Obviously, clean a little bit because it's a very old building. Sometimes you find a small debris that broken
Dust.
here. Yes, a lot
Yes.
of dust, and I had to first clean. After it's clean, I started to prepare the thing that I'm going to do, the materials, the canvas, whatever I wanted to do that day, or feel that today I'm going to work with pressed flowers, for example. And when I work with pressed flowers, I need a big space and make a lot of mess because I had to pick the specific size, specific leaves, and I had to choose among a lot of material that I had in my drawers there. Yes, that is the thing that I do.
Yes.
open the windows, prepare the materials, clean is the second thing that I do. And after that, I started to prepare the materials that I'm going to work with.
So I'm going to ask you one additional question, and then we could always come back for another time. And the other question is, when you come in, do you come in already with an idea that you have been thinking about, or does it spontaneously come up when you're here?
That depends. Sometimes when I arrive here, I say, oh, I'm going to work with the watercolor, and I'm going to do like the flowers or tulips that I saw in my garden. For example, now I had a lot of inspiration in the springtime. That's the reason I love this time of the year.
Yeah.
The springtime is full of colors, the flowers. And others, I came with a project in my mind. And I bring the photos, like for reference, and I started to trace it in the canvas, made a very quick sketch, and started to apply the painting.
Thank you. What you shared is just terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for letting us be in your studio, having the chance to talk to you, the artist, a very, very exceptional artist with a lot of talent and a lot of inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.